Hello again there, hunters. I'm Zero Survivors, and as promised, I wanted to make another video regarding early high rank gearing. A lot of content creators out there are focusing on the max damage builds that you can make at the very end of your HR journey, but I wanted to make this video to focus on how you can get there. From HR 10 to HR 40, you'll need a reliable build to be able to take on the harder tempered monsters as well as the HR Apex monsters in Gormagala and Arkfeld. Now, I always advise hunters to go and see what's out there for themselves and build their own sets, but if you're looking up a guide, chances are that you're looking for guidance. Never fear! I have 4 pre-HR 40 builds and weapon suggestions to help you get to the real endgame grind. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First off, just after you roll the credits on low rank, Fabius will send you on a quest to capture a new bird wyvern, Yankatku. As an introductory high rank monster, this little guy actually gives bow users quite an amazing set to take on early high rank with. Constitution and Stamina Surge, as well as higher defense than most of our low rank gear, will make this a great set. Additionally, as an introductory bow for high rank, the Kutku Stave 1 possesses a high fire element as well as a generous 170 base attack with a 2-slot and single-slot deco. It can only fire pierce coatings, but you don't need to use them for many of the smaller monsters that you fight in early high rank. At the moment, there's currently an event quest that you can take advantage of this monster and farm repeatedly. I'd suggest doing that in order to get all the pieces here. Upgrading the Hope Bow to the Hope Bow 4 is also a good option, as that supports both power and poison coatings and has ballistics naturally, which will extend your range, as well as 1 point of critical eye, which will give you 4% affinity. The Gypceros coil is available fairly early on and provides Stamina Surge. With no decorations in this gear, you have Constitution level 4 and Stamina Surge level 3, which is a good building base for the rest of your deco slots. As you gain Physique gems and Refresh gems, you'll be able to replace these pieces with higher damaging skill armor. With that, let's quickly segue into decorations. Due to these being RNG, it's hard to lay out a blueprint for this gear, as your decos may vary. Take the advice I provide here and apply it to your own hunting style to enhance your experience. For single slot decorations, we watch out for Physique, as these will be used to shore up our Constitution skill. Keeping this as close to 5 will be one of the best ways to maximize your damage output. As you gear up, you can choose Protection Gems to provide Divine Blessing for damage reduction if you play fast and loose with monsters and get hit from time to time. You can opt for 1 or 2 Adapt Jewels, as these will negate your need for hot and cold drinks and prevent environmental damage like lava in the Oil Well Basin. If you like to join multiplayer lobbies and hunt with other players, the Shockproof Jewel will prevent flinching caused either by you or done to you. You can opt for Speed Eating Gems to decrease the time it takes to quaff potions, or opt in for Mirewalker Jewels to prevent oil, silt, and deep water from slowing you down in your hunt. For 2-slot decorations, Evasion Jewels will help increase your discerning dodge immunity windows, so I find these extremely useful. You can also opt in for Destroyer Jewels for Part Breaker. In addition to its old property of helping you deal more part damage to break monster parts, it also increases your focus strike damage from Hailstorm by 10, 20, and 30% respectively per level. Another excellent 2-slot option is Ambush, which increases your attack by 5, 10, or 15% for 30 seconds following a sneak attack per level. Finally, as another option, you can slot in a Jumping Jewel for Evade Extender, which will make your normal dodge and discerning dodge cover more distance. Pairing this with an Evasion Jewel is especially synergistic, as it can help you avoid wide AoE attacks from some monsters like New Udra. As you progress into the mid-HR story, you will hunt some familiar faces for upgraded gear. This balanced set is my suggestion for moving into the HR Apex story quests and beginning tempered monster hunts. Guardian Ebony Oda Garon makes a comeback, as Burst with his 2-piece set bonus Burst Boost 1 is an excellent offering for early high rank. This skill will greatly increase your damage output. Here you can see that at its max stacks it offers 12 attack and a whopping 100 element increase. Craft the Beta Helm and Alpha Braces for 4 points of this skill, and if you get lucky enough to get a Chain Jewel to drop, you can max this out. Guardian Doshaguma's chest piece and Guardian Fulgur Anjanath's greaves round out this set with the Constitution and Stamina Surge offerings they provide. Crafting the Ingot Coil Waist will get you a 2nd point of Divine Blessing and 3 single-slot decos for build flexibility. Again, with the knowledge that your deco offerings may differ, I suggest maxing out Constitution and Stamina Surge first, then filling in from whatever you have left to round out this set. If you prefer a more damage-oriented build, you can opt into this variation from the previous build by simply swapping out the belt for a Gypceros belt, the chest for a Blango chest piece for Agitator 2, and your talisman for an Agitator talisman to get Agitator 3. I'd slot the Refresh and Constitution decos into this build like this. This should net you another 7% affinity and additional 15 attack to supplement your burst skill stack and element increases. There's not really any wiggle room in this build for quality of life skills, but if you're just looking to blast, I think this will do the trick. Finally, I'd like to look at this fun build that's easy to build by simply focusing on Rathian and Lullabarina following your young Kutku farming. Foray is a skill that we saw introduced in Monster Hunter Sunbreak that gives the hunter an affinity and attack boost when the monster is under a status effect like paralysis or poison. With 5 points in this skill, this sees our hunter gain 15 attack and 20% affinity while the monster is debilitated. If you craft the Rathian bow, the Queen Blaster 1, it comes with poison coatings and the Poison Duration Up skill, which increases the duration of the poison status on the monster by 20%. If you're also lucky enough to pick up the common rarity Venom Jewel decorations, this can increase your damage substantially. I recommend crafting this, the Lullabarina Headgear Beta, Rathian Male Alpha, Kutku Vambraces Beta, Rathian Coil Beta, and Rathian Greaves Beta with the Surge Charm Talisman. This set has some substantial damage output, and Rathian is quite an easy boss to farm and access from early on in high rank. Additionally, Rathian's parts are actually needed for the Challenger Charm for Agitator, as well as the Exploiter Charm for Weakness Exploit, so most hunters will be farming this monster anyway to get these much sought after talismans. To end this video, I wanted to go over the better weapon options to craft as you progress HR. Now, I've already mentioned the Kutku Stave 1 as a great introductory weapon, but I also wanted to shout out the Congalala Bow, the Wild Power Bow 2, for its flexible coating options and base 5% affinity. It comes with special ammo boost natively, which can be further increased with the single slot deco to max out your Dragon Piercer and Tracer Shot damage. It also can support power, paralysis, poison, and blast coatings, giving you a great all-rounder bow that doesn't hinge on any specific element. Similarly, the Dragon Perforator 3 can be crafted with just ore and bones, and natively has Tetrad Shot 3, which increases affinity and attack power on coated shots. With both Pierce and Poison coatings, this 190 attack damage bow is an excellent starting place in HR. As you progress into mid-game HR, you can look out for the Rathalos Prominence Bow 1, which has Crit Boost 3 and 10% native affinity on it. This will increase critical damage by 34% when it occurs. You can further slot an additional Crit Boost or Critical Eye into it, and as it supports power coatings, it makes it a solid offering for mid-game. I'd advise against crafting Rarity 6 Ardean weapons unless you happen to luck out with the tubes and device that all match both affinity and element type. If you try to craft them with differing elements, you can end up with a weaker version of the bow. If you decide to craft one, again I'd suggest element and affinity, being that affinity is tough to come by with this early stage of the game. These weapons have 3 2-slot decos, but only come typically with either power or close range coatings. Ice Element is the odd one out here and comes with Pierce coatings. These aren't bad weapons by any means, but you'll likely want to craft the stronger Rarity 8 versions of them as soon as you're ready to take on the hardest tempered monsters. For weapon decorations, I'd advise going with True Shot Jewel for special ammo boost to increase Dragon Piercer and Tracer damage, Critical Jewel for critical boost to increase critical damage, Expert Jewel for the Critical Eye skill to increase affinity, Bandolier Jewel for the Tetrad Shot skill to increase affinity and damage on your 4th and 6th coated shots, or Element Boosting decorations to improve element present on the weapon. Attack is generally never bad, but provides a very minor damage increase overall. You can also slot in things like Mind's Eye or Ballistics Jewels for quality of life options, or status improving decos if you play something like the Foray build I went over earlier. Let me know if this guide helped you out. If it did, click the like and subscribe buttons for me to show your support. I'm Zero Survivors, and with that, happy hunting.